Hello everyone and welcome back guys to rounds 9 and round 10 of the online racing league Scirocco Cup guys, obviously on Forza Motorsport 6 and here in qualifying at Laguna Seca. Now this track probably actually one of the stronger ones for myself in this calendar, mainly due to just the fact it doesn't have massively long straights, obviously with only manual. I've been saying it all season long, but obviously only running manual does mean that I do have a fair deficit to a lot of the drivers in this league guys, but obviously this will be my fastest qualifying lap, and overall it really wasn't actually a very good one. There was easy sort of another half a second to find on this lap. You may have seen through turn 1, 2 and 3, I wasn't really getting very close to the apexes. This was actually my second lap in the session there, and on the other 3 laps I just made small mistakes. I basically ran all of my flying laps within sort of a tenth of each other, but they all had quite a few mistakes on them, which was really annoying to see, but hopefully it still should leave us in a fairly strong place for qualifying. I actually managed to get, that was one of the corners that I really only managed to get well on this one run there, getting nicely over the apex all the way through the corner there, and obviously running nice and wide on the exit, but coming out through the infamous corkscrew. You can actually cut this corner quite a lot, and I do get nicely over the curves, not completely straight lining it like I knew a few people were. But we want to use track limits to a fair degree, and obviously, although everyone's obviously going to be pushing in qualifying, there's a certain point in which you're cut, and then there's others where they'll just go for whatever they possibly can. But obviously, sort of like clean racing in this and coming through the final corner now. Hopefully, trying to get a good run out of this corner, we just get a little bit of wheel spin on the inside on the front left there. Not exactly ideal, but coming down towards the line, I think it's going to be a 1 minute 34.791 there, and overall, a fairly decent lap there. Wasn't too far off my PB, but still, it wasn't brilliant, and that actually left me, I think it was P6 or P5 in B lobby there. You could just see having a run through the grid for this first race. We've got MIDI, then VBR Solberg there, and then we've got Prod 4 for AMG. Then we've also got 3 of the EVR boys from all 3 different teams. We've got Hurricane, then Kai, and then myself there. So obviously, hopefully for us lot, we can get a good race here. I think Ben actually managed to get up into A lobby once again there. He's doing very, very well this series. And Isaac, unfortunately, didn't have a very good qualifying run, so ended up down in C lobby there. You could just see Prod Excited down in P8, Balatique down in P9, and obviously a couple of other drivers right at the very back. We've got YMTV Matt there, obviously. He's not in the commentary box now. He's actually on track. Then we've got UKZ Drifter and then ACR Lucky Sod rounding out this 12-man grid. They tried to cut down the grid sizes to have a full 4-man lobby, guys. But we're going to be going at 3 minutes 55 for this first round of the night, guys. And it's lights out and away we go. And actually getting off to a very poor start there. You can see we've got A. Colin already having a look down the inside there, but everyone gets pinched up already. There is VBR Solberg very, very aggressively to the inside line there. We're going to be going 3 wide straight away with both my teammates there down towards turn 1. Kai is the late breaker of the 3 of us there as he tries to have a look down the inside of Solberg there. I nearly get bumped by A. Colin there through the exit of the corner there. We're still side by side with Kieran on the exit of the corner there, but he obviously is going to have the inside line for the next corner there and move up into P5 of the racer. So I've been able to hold on to my original position there, as you can just see Kai absolutely flying through the field already. His starts are so good, but just in front of me, Solberg running a little bit wide through the next corner there, and hopefully, if Kieran could try and get a good run past him, maybe, we could capitalise on this as well, as Solberg takes a very, very aggressive line over the curbs. They can just see on the exit of the corner there, a little bit of contact between Solberg and Kieran there, and that's completely ruined my run. You can just see Colin's going to go past me, and then UKZ Drifter is also just going to be able to nip through before we go up the hill, and that has really not been a good run for me. Balatique as well, able to look down my inside towards the corkscrew on that one, as we've got YMTV Matt also thinking about it, and he thinks better of it coming through the corner there. We try and hold it side by side with Balatique, and obviously there's nowhere for me to go on the track there, so I'm going to have to cut over the corner, and that's going to relegate me all the way down into P9 there. Not exactly what I wanted off the start of this race here, is running a little bit wide through the third last corner there, but we're still looking like we could make some good positions up in this race as Balatique runs a little bit over the gravel. We think about going down the inside, but he's very, very aggressive on his defensive there. I do give him a little bit of a nudge there, but coming around the final corner, and I do run a little bit wide there, but not as badly as Kieran has just ahead of me there. Sorry, no, it is Kai that's actually ran wide at the final corner there, so they're going 3 wide just ahead of me there, and it's incredibly tight down towards turn 1, and there is a lot of contact made between these guys. I just want to try and avoid it all, so I go down the inside of Kai, and then down the inside of Balatique as well. The UKZ Drifter running wide through turn 1 as well, and we might be able to get back up into my original position there as we move up into P7 once again there, but that is going to leave me on the outside through the next corner there. Drifter parking on the apex there, which gives Balatique a little bit of room to think about going for a run down my own side, but he only managed to get right onto my gearbox there through the corner there, so we are obviously able to hold on to P7. Running a little bit wide through the next corner there, and that will give Balatik a good run, but we think about going a little bit defensive into the next corner there, but Balatik dives it down the inside and does move back up into P7 there. So obviously we've already swapped positions about 3-4 times, us two, and we're only on the second lap of this race. So, you know, obviously this is what these Sciroccos really do. They give you nice close racing. I could just see coming through the next corner there. Balatik nearly runs it off the circuit there. There's a couple of guys going side by side there. There's Prod, I think it's one of the Prod guys, as well as UKZ Drifter there. As you can see, into the next corner there, a couple of guys have a huge crash. Accidentally take out Kieran there. No idea what's going on between those guys, but, you know, I'm not too sure whose fault that was, obviously. If you want to go back and slow down the footage, obviously, no idea really who was to blame there. But we go down the inside of Kieran. He might try and go back down the inside of me into the next corner there. He parks on the apex there, pushes me a little bit wide, but we are able to hold it on the track. So you can just see all three EVR boys were once again right next to each other. As coming into the final corner, we do give Kai the room on the inside of the final corner. We are down, back down now into P9 of the racer, and that's not exactly what I wanted. You know, very early on, but obviously, as I keep saying, you know, there's obviously more and more chances to try and get back up the field. Because just see, I think it's the top two have really been able to make a breakaway from it at the start of this race. We've got everyone else battling out. You can just see, I can see all the way up to 4th place. You know, 4th is still what I can achieve in this race. As everyone in front of me, bar Kai, is going side by side here. So, you know, I've obviously got a little bit clear air. And, you know, coming on to the end of lap 4, you know, I was still feeling quite confident here. As you can see, Prod, is that Prod Excited just behind me there. I think you can have a look up the inside into the final corner there, you know, just let me know he was there. So obviously, you know, obviously if he does go for a dive bomb, I can give him the room on the inside, obviously, if he deserves it. But coming down towards turn 1, I can just see they're going side by side once ahead of me here. You can see Kai goes for a beautiful undercut on Solberg there, but he pushes him into the wall. Sorry, not Solberg, Balatik. And that's completely ruined my car there, as I got punched from behind. The whole rear of the car completely destroyed there, and unfortunately for me, no safety cars will be allowed, just due to the fact there was only 2 of us really involved that got any sort of damage from that. But I think Kai basically got out of that completely unscathed there, but my rear of the car completely destroyed there, and that's going to completely ruin my first race of the evening. As you can see, coming to the end of lap 11 there, and obviously we're miles back from everyone else. You know, I basically had 3 brakes for the rest of the race, and that meant through so many corners the car would basically just bounce around there. You can just see running wide out of the final corner there, but it's going to leave us down in P12 in B lobby there. Not exactly what I wanted, but it will also mean that I get to start in pole position for the second race of the night there. So, you know, hopefully if that works out for myself, I get a good start, then maybe, you know, I could actually be able to turn this evening around and hopefully get up to a very, very good result in the second race of the night there, guys. So have a look at the race results there. Prod Forza 4 AMG able to take the win in that first race there, you know. Having a look right at the very back there, we've got Lucky Sod and YMTV Matt just ahead of me there, so obviously those will be the 2 guys that will be starting next to me in the second race there. And hopefully, you know, I do feel a little bit quick on those guys, so maybe, you know, we could see a good start from myself here, guys. We're going to be going at 3 minutes for this second race of the evening there, and obviously for me it's just about trying to make sure we get a very, very good run down towards the 1, you know, try and keep it clean, and hopefully, you know, try and pull away a little bit of a gap in the early stages of this race, guys. You can just see Prod Excited already moving up into P2 there as he moves past YMTV Matt. But I think we got Kai as well going down the inside of everyone there. They're 3 wide behind me, and obviously this is a perfect chance for me just try and pull away a little bit here. Obviously we can see Kai and Matt, hopefully, you know, they have a little bit of squabbling, so I can just try and get a little bit of a run, because Kai is incredibly quick in these cars, and obviously he will be hunting me down. I can see they are actually going side by side. That's obviously very ideal for me in these early stages. Matt there trying to defend on the inside into the next corner there, and this hopefully should leave me in a very good position. And obviously we've already pulled out, you know, a good couple of 100 feet gap, and we're already halfway through this first lap of the race. So, you know, maybe this could work out quite well for myself, but obviously we need to keep pushing throughout the rest of this first stint, obviously, of this race. And obviously it's just about trying to make sure we get an advantage before these guys all sort of settle themselves out. It's what Prod Forza 4 AMG did really well in the first race. So he was just able to pull away in the early stage there. We could just see moving on all the way onto lap 8 of the race there. We got Kai right behind me here on the end of lap 8. So we've only really got 3 laps to go of this race here. You know, Kai he's feeling very, very confident in these cars. You know, he's been able to close in the gap quite steadily on me. And, you know, after a couple of small mistakes from myself, you know, he was able to get right on the rear of my car, but he dives it down the inside into the final corner. I wasn't actually expecting that from Kai, so I'd already actually turned into the corner ever so slightly, but we do sort of give him the room on the inside. And obviously at this moment of time, it's just crucial, you know, we take home this 1-2 and we don't make contact with each other. Obviously we don't want to be fighting too much. Obviously we're still both trying to fight for our own team championships, as well as our own driver standards. So you can see VBL Solberg rage quitting from the party there as well, guys. We go down the inside of Kai, through turn 1 there, and hopefully, you know, on the exit of the corner, he runs wide over the sand there, and down towards turn 2. I'll be able to hold it around the outside. We try and think about going for it, but he runs us a little bit wide out to dry there. We somehow keep it on the curbs, get a very, very good run through the corner there, but he's going to be down the inside for the next corner there, and I tried to go down the for the undercut move, but he parks it very, very nicely on the apex of the corner there. Obviously, not exactly what I wanted, as Kai now moves up into the lead of the race there. And, you know, hopefully for me, obviously, we can keep on trying to pile on the pressure on these final couple of laps of this race, guys. You can just see skipping on right to the very end of the race there. And unfortunately for me, you know, we weren't able to defend from Kai right at the very end there. He was able to hold on to the race leading into the final corner of the race. It's going to be P2 for myself in the second race of the night. So, you know, still a fairly strong result, especially obviously in B lobby there. And we're going to finish less than, I think it was less than a quarter of a tenth behind Kai there at the very end there. So obviously very, very good racing between the pair of us there. And I think, you know, overall, we can be quite happy there, obviously, with P2 in the second race there. Obviously, you know, it was quite a struggle after the first race. You know, obviously, when you get taken out like that, and obviously, it's not really your fault. Obviously, guys ahead of you, and there's just nowhere for you to go. You know, it's happened so many times so far this season. I think Watkins Glen, probably a prime example of that earlier on in the season there. But P2 and P12 in B lobby there should give me a good haul of points. So I think I'm around about sort of P20 overall in the standings now. But obviously, I have already used my drop round from the very start of the season there, guys. So having a look at the overall race results, so you can see Kai finishes P1, myself down in P2, Balatik there, get a very, very good result up in P3. They could just see the other driver from our team, EVR Hurricane, down in P6 there, behind YMTV Matt. But, you know, overall, it was an up and down evening to say the least, you know. Still fairly happy with the result, guys. But hopefully, you know, you have subscribed if you are new around here, guys. If you did enjoy this video as well, don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you next time.